Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest away day preview. Rovers making the long trip south to take on Plymouth Argyle this weekend. Joining me to look ahead to that one, Tom Biltcliffe and Rovers skipper Tom Anderson. Bilts, this trip never gets easier. Rovers making that long trip south on Friday to come up against a team in Plymouth who are banging form at the moment.
They are in form. It worried me when I was doing my research for this game that it's going to take a decent side to get anything against Plymouth at the moment, and they should have perhaps won on Tuesday night against Portsmouth. They led in that game right up until the 95th minute, and it's one of those archetypal places which is tough to go, purely I think just due to the distance. We heard Richie Wellens say that on the pitch they're an organised bunch. Ryan Lowe's been in there a few years. They know what they're about. They've got that 3-5-2 system. And it's caused Doncaster problems before.
Tom, we've seen Ryan Lowe be there for a couple of years now, as Bilt says, and he's been able to get a squad together to a point now where in each transfer window he's only adding one or two to complement what's already there.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when managers get given time. He's had a bit like you're saying there. It's been 3 or 4 years there now, or is it 2 or 3? I don't know, around 2 or 3 years, and he's had time to build a squad that he likes and bring players in that he wants. And like I said, I think the game when we played down there last year, it was a tough game, and it was a tough game at our place, but luckily we got the win at our place last year. But we know we're going to be in for a very tough game going down there.
Of course, going into it now on the back of 2 straight wins after a difficult start to the campaign in League and Cup, Rovers have found a bit of form over the past week or so. Is it a spirited or momentum, I suppose, carrying you into that one?
Yeah, I think we've got to look at that. Like I said, 2 positive results. I think Morecambe, the first league win of the season, maybe not. Well, I think we know in ourselves we can still be better in that game. But like I said, we got the 3 points, which was big for us. And then, like I say, on Tuesday night, I think it was a very a good performance, and like I say, a positive result as well.
There's players in that group who won't have been in that position before, looking back to last weekend with 5-10 minutes to go and not having that experience of seeing a game out. You're one of the few players in that team who, of course, has been there, seen it and done it. So during that game, are you just trying to talk to the young lads as much as you can and ease them through it?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you say, when you're young and you've not been there, you can almost sometimes, your mind starts to take over and you can be thinking, when's it going to come, when we're going to score? But I think if you just keep, I'm always a big advocate of saying, just keep doing it, keep doing the basics well. And as long as you work hard and like I say, you keep doing what you've been told to do. We had a game plan, we stuck to it. We'd done, work on set pieces all through that week and look how we won the game. So, like with the young lads, it is, you have to keep on at them and just tell them just to relax and stay calm and keep doing what they're doing. And that's what we did, and we got the result in the end.
Bilts, it's the first of 2 long away trips in the matter of days, but do you feel that this young group can really benefit from games against the likes of Plymouth and Ipswich, 2 teams who, particularly Ipswich on Tuesday night, you would back to be up there, and Plymouth right up there at present?
Well, can they learn from it? Can they make use of it? They're going to have to, Robbie, because they're the next games, and you don't really have much choice in League One, and you either you sink or swim. And the manner of the win last week, actually, I think the way it was a grind, it wasn't a walkover. Everyone, I'm sure, on Sunday morning knew they'd been in a game the day before. I think that actually it's only going to breed confidence, and the fixture calculator has not been too favourable to Doncaster, has it? 1,000 miles, I think, in 4 days. That's some tough going. If Rovers can pick up a win, or maybe even a plane. If they can pick up a plane, that would be more beneficial. But if they can get 1 win out of them 2 games, then I think that's achievable and would be nice to get.
Does it help the team and the manager that the monkey's off the back now, in terms of you're no longer going and facing questions of you haven't won a game yet, you've won one, you've finally got those 3 points. Although it's still not the best start to the season, you're no longer that team that haven't picked up 3 points yet.
Well, actually, prior to Tommy Rowe's goal, Rovers were the only team in the country at that moment who hadn't won a game in the Football League. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to say those words live on air. And thankfully, Tommy popped up and that's proved it. We spoke with the gaffer after the game and I asked him, did he feel that he needed that for his confidence, because he previously said that, and he kind of, but I think he did. I think he really did. Just so he knows that what he's doing is the right thing to do. And why can't Rovers build on that?
Tom, you're likely to have your work cut out this weekend, coming up against a strike force who've scored 12 goals between them in Jeffcott and Hardy. I'm assuming you yourself and Rosean have been watching plenty of videos of them on their strong points and potentially weaknesses as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, obviously two very good strikers. But I've played against them quite a few times now. Obviously last year, like I said, both games were difficult games. But every game is a difficult game. There's a lot of good players in this league, and we have to make sure, not just me and Rosean, but everybody, the whole team needs to be ready, I think, mentally and physically for what is going to be a very challenging game.
They're the main goal threats, but particularly with the 5 men in midfield, is it more of a case of stopping the supply as much as stopping those two themselves?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's not just, Hardy and Jeff got on the pitch. There's other people that are helping them score these goals. But then, like I say, I always say, you start the game, one team's got 11 and so has the other team. So there should always be a way to stop their threat, and we've been doing plenty of work on that this week.
Just on that, go on, sorry, Robbie.
No, go on, fill your boots.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of a kind of game plan or way that Rovers have gone there before and got a result, because they have done, it's not as if they're going to Real Madrid or something like that. You keep Plymouth quiet for 20 minutes and all of a sudden their own fans go, not liking this. There's 10,000 locals in there who start getting itchy feet, and all of a sudden the pressure's on the home side to try and get that goal, and they'll open up a little bit.
Tom, in terms of the long trip, how do you sort of go about preparing yourself, keeping your body fresh? Because it can be easy when you sat on a coach for so long to stiffen up and all of a sudden the back's aching or the legs are a bit sore. What do you do in terms of not only on the coach, but when you arrive at the hotel? Is it just about relaxing and sort of taking your time about things?
Yeah, well, I think every player is different, aren't they? Some players, obviously, we've got the long journey. But that's, I don't know, for me, it's part of football. You have these games where the journeys are longer than others. But it's just, like I said, it's individual stuff. When we get down there, I don't know, some people might like to just, if hotels have a pool, go down to the pool and a little session in there, or just a stretch or a massage or whatever. But like I said, players know what their body's like and what their bodies need. And so when we do get down there after the journey, boys will be doing whatever they want to do to make sure we're right for Saturday.
Biltz, it's a long trip for Rovers, but it's easy to forget that Plymouth have to do these sort of trips every other week in the division, don't they?
You've taken the words out of my mouth, Robbie. I was just about to say that. Plymouth, they're 2 hours from anywhere. So they have to do this every week or every other week. So, everyone, and there's a few ex-Rovers lads in there, Jordan Houghton, Connor Grant, so I don't know whether selling the club as such to potential new players is a tough sell, because you got that extra bit of travelling to do, or whether, the coach travel, the hotels are as good as they've ever been. It'd be interesting to see how them two lads I mentioned get on. Actually, they had different loan spells with the club, so they'll be ones to. Well, they'll all be ones to keep an eye out on. But those two in particular, from a story point of view, anyway.
Yeah, Conor Grant had a maybe difficult first couple of years at Plymouth, but he's established himself firmly in the starting 11 now, hasn't he? As has Jordan Houghton following his move in the summer. Yeah,
didn't have Grant down as a left wing back, which I think that's where he's been deployed. To be honest, I didn't think he quite had the pace or enough about him to get up and down. So we'll see. But his set pieces were generally bang on. I think he spent most of his time with Doncaster. It was the relegation season, wasn't it, under Ferguson, and then subsequent promotion season from League Two where he was, and then obviously Houghton came in from Chelsea. been around the block at this level for a few years now. Had that season or two at MK Dons. He's quite a calming influence in the midfield. So two reasonable operators at this level.
Tom, you had a rest in midweek and a chance to watch what was a very entertaining game at the Keepmoat, wasn't it, against Manchester City under 21s. Of course, Joe Dodu getting his first 2 Rovers goals, but in particular, Thiago Chikora as well looked like he's a bit leaner, a bit quicker. Of course, set up the first goal, and those two seemed to strike a bit of a combination.
Yeah, obviously it was what I call probably a nice footballing game in these in the games we see these days, which, you know, sometimes for me, I think not false, but can be a little bit, you know, I don't think a lot of games are going to be like that on a Saturday against the teams in League One. But like I say, still, we played some great football and we got the result, which is the main thing. And then, like you say as well, Joe got 2 goals and Thiago, like I said, I think caused their centre halves a lot of problems, especially defensively, because he's a big, strong lad. You know, I know that just from his training. And the more confidence they both get, the better for everyone at the club. So, like I say, it was a good confidence booster for them. And again, you know, everybody involved at the club of 2 back-to-back wins.
Biltz, whether it's Shakur or Dodu leading the line for Rovers on Saturday, either one of them are going to have to make the ball stick when they get it, aren't they? With Plymouth, you would expect to be trying to get on the front foot early. When Rovers do have possession, they're going to have to make it count. Yeah,
try and take the heat off, you know, a midfield that might not see as much of the ball. You'd fancy that going away from them, you probably won't see the ball as much. So when it does get up to the front man, you've got to either run the channels and try and earn yourself a throw in and just gain territory. Really, it's not the nicest way to go about it, but it's effective. Thiago does look leaner. It's a bit of a baptism of fire for him, isn't it? We'll see how he takes to it. He's a bit different to John Jules last season. He's got that kind of upper body strength about him. And actually, I didn't see the game in midweek, but I assume Dodu was in off the left, was he?
Right.
He was in off the right. Yeah, that's where I think he's most effective, coming in off a flank, and he's got that pace and that power. So it's quite a potent front three. With Geordie in there, might go for Rodrigo for a bit of protection. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with any of them lads, and phase back within a month's time, hopefully.
Tom, does it just take the pressure off the back line as well? Earlier on in the season, when there's a lack of goal threat and you're thinking, well, if we don't score, if we concede one, we're probably not going to get anything from the game. At least now there's a bit more comfort in the fact that the pressure is eased slightly on the back four, knowing that you've got goals at the top end of the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, obviously with Thiago, I think we were saying there, he's a big lad in it, and he's, you know, good size about him. But I think he's only 18, so he's still a young lad and not got that much experience. So it's a lot to put on somebody's shoulders like that. So with Joe coming in, I've played against Joe a few times, and I've always known I've been in a game against him. He's a very, very good at what he does, and like saying, getting 2 goals the other night will do him a world of good.
Yeah, we got the win last weekend. Then what would 3 points at home park do for belief and momentum within the group, do you feel?
Oh, massive! I think like you both were saying earlier, going away sometimes it, you know, like the game on Tuesday, it was nice, easy, tippy-tappy football, but sometimes it's not always going to be like that. And like you're saying, going down there where they've got 10,000 locals, first 15 or 20 minutes, you might just have to show up shop and kill the game a little bit. Like I say, it's not pretty, but it's effective sometimes. So this, and even, you know, I know we're looking at Plymouth, but it might have to be the same on Tuesday away at Ipswich, similar things. And this is when learning about the game and adapting to different games, because not every game is the same. So, you know, we'll go into Saturday doing what needs to be done to get the 3 points. And if we do that and we do get the 3 points, it'll be a fantastic result.
Biltz, just finally then, there's a reason why Plymouth haven't been beaten since going down 2-0 at Rotherham on the opening day of the season. Clearly difficult to beat, capable of winning games, but where can Rovers hurt them and earn a positive result on Saturday, do you feel?
Why not a set piece? You know, it worked last week. And the way that Tommy Rowe, arguably the smallest player on the pitch, managed to get a header 8 yards out, a free header in the centre of goal. You know, he'd got that shot off 20 minutes before. I couldn't believe. He said he could believe, but I couldn't believe that he'd been given licence to get on the end of something in the space of 20 minutes from the same corner. And so, you know, I think Rovers will hope to keep it tight and pinch one. That's the way that most away teams do. Let's be honest, Morecambe weren't too dissimilar last week. They were quite happy, I think, or my own view was that they were quite happy to settle for 0-0. Nearly got a one apiece at the end if it hadn't been for a good save from Pontus. But yeah, if Rovers can keep it tight and nick one from a set piece, then everyone's looking forward to Tuesday all of a sudden. It goes back to that adage that Richie said is if you are on a losing run, you think, oh, that's difficult, we won't beat them. Flip it around. If you win a couple, bring it on.